Hi, everyone. Welcome to Mini Scroll, the daily internet culture podcast bringing you the biggest stories from social media, the creator economy, and the digital space every Monday through Thursday. I'm your host, Lauren Meisner, the founder of the youth digital media brand Centennial World. All right, everyone. Happy Monday. I hope you guys had a great weekend. It was fine. That was so won't, but honestly, that's kind of how it felt. I'm feeling really burnt out at the moment, and I'm just trying to get through every day. I feel like this is me having a bit of a revelation, just chatting through my revelation with you guys. I feel as though the beginning of the year was so crazy, and I was like, all right, I just have to make it to halfway through the year. I would literally fantasize about June and I would just think to myself, by June, everything will be so much better. I'll be so much calmer. I'll have a new routine in place. I'll feel so much more in control. And obviously June is in 2 weeks, not even. And I'm like, oh, no. I'm just as frazzled and chaotic as I was at the beginning of the year. A different vibe for sure. I'm much less anxious and I do have a lot more under control than I did then. But now I just feel out of control in other ways. But I was talking to my hairdresser, Alex. I've been going to him for 100 years. It feels truly, I think it's probably been 5 years, 5 or 6 years. So maybe not quite 100, but he owns the salon and, he's also a business owner, and we talk a lot about stuff like that. And I was kind of telling him I'm really struggling right now because I think I was looking to this time of the year and thinking, oh my God, it's going to be so much better. And now I'm at this time of the year and I'm I don't feel any more in control. I don't feel like I have work under control really yet. And I feel like I'm just always catching up constantly. And I don't have time for my friends or to hang out with Sean or anything. He gave me some good advice. He gave me the perspective of when you own a business, some years are really chaotic and some years are much more chill, and that's part of the roller coaster. So you just have to accept that this year is a year where you're going to feel out of control possibly the whole year, and you are going to be working crazy hours 7 days a week to catch up and to find this new normal and to get the business to where it needs to be so that you can take a small step back. But with everything that happened at the start of this year, it does kind of feel like I'm back, definitely not at square one, but I'm back a couple years. I feel like it took the business back a little bit. So, I'm just trying to accept that this year is going to be really wild and I'm not going to have a lot of rest. I'm not going to have a lot of time to do gym or hang out with my friends. I just have to be laser focused on the business, and I need to accept that instead of trying to resist that and waiting for it to chill out, because it might not chill out for the rest of this year. And I just need to be okay with that. So that is what I worked through this weekend. I'm still not fully accepting of it. I'm still kind of are you fucking kidding me? But I have come to that realization that I need to accept it. All right, let's get into the stories for today. So I have 2 stories for you guys. The first story is a bit of a darker one. And then the second story I'm just obsessed with. Okay, so the first story is that a TikToker is claiming that Gypsy Rose Blanchard is striking her videos to silence her Munchausen's by Proxy story. TikTok creator @AdaptiveKate has made some serious claims against Gypsy Rose Blanchard. Kate is a Munchausen's by Proxy survivor who makes content sharing the story of how she faced medical child abuse by her mother. Kate has over 150,000 followers and has gone viral several times for her story. In a new video posted last week, Kate opened up about how she feels Gypsy wants, quote, full ownership of Munchausen's by Proxy as a condition to use basically as a marketing tool to make money. And as a result, Gypsy is trying to silence other survivors. Kate also said that she believes Gypsy has started sharing elements of Kate's own experience with her mother and trying to pass those elements of that story off as Gypsy's story.
I can't say her name because she will have my video removed, but you will know who this is about. There is the face of Munchausen syndrome by Proxy out there. This face of it believes they have sole ownership of it as if it is an advertisement title. They are against other survivors sharing their story. This particular face of it has targeted my account, has trolled me in my lives. Their stepmom has trolled me. And they mass report my videos, and she wants me to stop telling my story. I have been on TikTok for 3 years sharing my story. I had no issues until she got out. I have been targeted by her most recently, but even prior to that, I was targeted by her stans, as they call them.
So I think no matter, kind of how you feel about Gypsy, I know there's a huge portion of the internet that feels she shouldn't have gone to jail, and other portions of the internet that feel she should have gone to jail for sure, and that, we shouldn't be kind of platforming her in this way and like celebrating her as like an influencer now. I think this particular story and just what we've seen from Gypsy since she's been released, there was a lot of concern when she started to become like an influencer and people started like standing her and stuff, that it was going to go sideways, and a lot of questions about like what she wanted to gain from all of this and what this was going to do to the Munchausens by proxy community, but also Gypsy's mental health. And I think that we're watching some of that play out. Like, obviously, we don't know if what Kate is saying is true, but let's say it is. I think we are kind of watching the result of somebody coming out of jail after such a traumatic, life that they led, and then getting sent to prison, and then coming out and being like a full-fledged celebrity, being celebrated, the internet making like fan edits of her, just absolutely turning her into a meme, but also this like pedestaled public figure. And I think it would be too much for kind of anyone to handle, especially somebody who has the experience and this backstory like Gypsy has, getting that famous that quickly, that much praise, that much money, that much excitement, all these interviews. Like, it was a shit storm from the minute that she left prison. And I believe, fame and money and accolades, that goes to anyone's head. And so I can see, if Kate's story is true, I can see how you would get protective of that thing that you feel like makes you different, that makes you famous, that gives you that money, that has basically built your career. You would get probably protective of that thing. So I could see how Gypsy has become kind of weirdly protective over being the famous one who, experienced Munchausen by proxy. And I can see how any person might get caught up in the fame and the glitz and the glamour of what she's currently experiencing and not want that to go away, and being fearful that maybe there's not room for, two quote unquote famous Munchausens by proxy girlies on the internet. Because I think if this is true, if she is striking her videos, I believe that's probably where it's coming from. All right, the next story that I have for you guys. Okay, so Galvanized Square Steel-Tok is the latest niche corner of the internet to go viral. This story is for the marketing and the social media girlies. It's for anybody that wants to stay in the know, but if you guys work in that space, you have to jump on this trend like ASAP. So we're saying goodbye to industrial grade glycine, and we are saying hello to galvanized square steel. So the latest niche to sweep TikTok is AI-generated videos mocking renovation videos that turn small spaces into functional homes. So, I'm sure we've all seen that. There's like full HGTV shows about this, right? It's like you take a tiny little New York apartment or some tiny little space or like a van or something, and you turn it into something very beautiful and fully functioning. So it's like mocking that type of content. Okay, so each video involves some AI-generated person. You usually see them in the video when it starts saying they've saved all their money or they inherited some money or something, and they have purchased this tiny little room. Like, some of the rooms are literally like a square meter. Like, that's how small these rooms are. Many say that the room is even too small for their grandfather's coffin. That's one specific element that is, for some reason, just this through line in most of the videos is there's like a mention of a grandfather's coffin. They say, quote, "Now let's see how we can turn this into a fully functional house." And then they remove the windows or the walls, and you're watching this like in AI, like you're watching it happen on the video. And they use galvanized square steel that extend outward to expand the room. And then they almost all also, quote, "borrow some screws from their aunt to secure these steel frames." So again, it's the grandfather's coffin and the aunt's screws that are like these two very specific and bizarre elements that like tie up the meme in these videos. If the video has these two things, they are like truly part of this niche. And then you cover that steel in eco-friendly wood veneers. Again, so galvanized square steel, tiny square meter room, grandfather's coffin, ants, screws, and eco-friendly wood veneers. Those are like the 5 main elements of these videos. So this meme is like another Don Juan Jinlong situation, another like glycine, industrial grade glycine situation, where it's so bizarre that users are now creating their own content around it. And actual renovation and home building videos are now flooded with comments from people asking if they're using like galvanized square steel and eco-friendly wood veneers and if they got the screws from their aunt. It's so funny. People are literally making like fan edits for galvanized square steel. So I believe that this niche, it's been kind of going on for a few weeks. Like Annabelle said that her friend showed her this side of TikTok a couple weeks ago, but over the weekend, it has like literally exploded. It's like with Don Juan Jinlong, like they started their account in December, but then like over the course of 2 days, like the whole concept of them and like the glycine and all of that like exploded. So we're at that precipice right now where it's about to explode. So if you guys want to make content around that, definitely get on it ASAP, because I think this will be another one that comes and goes really quickly, but it's so niche and internety right now. It's so funny. All right, guys. Well, that's it for Mini Scroll today. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Please remember to rate, review, and subscribe if you like Mini Scroll, if you like Infinite Scroll, if you like the podcast. It means a lot to me. And I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye.